Good morning, bass anglers. Thanks for tuning in today. My name's Steve Cooper. You're watching In Deep on the Delta. Today it's going to be all about worm fishing. We're going to really focus in on techniques. Having a variety of techniques in your arsenal is going to be key to your success. Once you're familiar with the techniques, that's going to help you figure out what style of worm you want, what size of worm you want. Now the colors, that could be a totally local thing, so I'm not going to focus a lot on color. I'm going to stick with green pumpkins and watermelons and black with blue flake. There's nothing new here on color. If I have an out of the ordinary rigging that I'm using, I'll share that with you, but I really want to focus on how we fish the worms. All right. Okay, so we got another nice little keeper, just flipping a weightless Senko in close. It's early in the day, so I'm keeping my trolling motor moving along the bank. I'm trying to fish the worm slowly, but I'm keeping the motor moving along so that I'm covering some water. If I find a pattern that's really good, I may just slow down and really methodically fish some of these areas in here. But I haven't really found a pattern yet, so I'm keeping the trolling motor moving quickly, but I'm fishing the worm slowly. Just because you have your foot on the trolling motor doesn't mean you can't take the worm, throw it out there, and soak it for a minute. There's a trick you don't see very often. I netted a fish this size. The reason that I did that is because I don't want this fish to throw the worm. The worms are $1 a piece, and what'll happen a lot of times, they'll slide up on the line, and even a small fish, they'll start shaking their head and they'll throw that worm out. Well, you go through a day of Senkos, and that can be quite an expense. So what I try to do is I take those small fish and I net them. That way, once they hit the net, they stop flapping around so much. And even if they throw the worm lands in the net and you could use it again. I like to use a Frenzy Wacky saddle. One of the things that I do to save my worms, instead of hooking the worm through the saddle, this part of it back here, I hook it through the rings here. And what that does is, rather than having the hook in here and pulling the rings through the worm and destroying the worm, I have it when I'm pulling on this worm this way, this saddle part is actually protecting the worm and not tearing it up so much. So that's a little trick you can use to save a few worms. There we go. Oh boy. All right, here's one that choked that cuttail worm. Again, that wacky saddle didn't destroy the worm at all, rigging it like that. It's different from everything else that's in there. Oh, I just got one right off of that. There it is. All right, I just got this fish and I lost my worm because I didn't net him, but I was trying to talk. Right in an area that's a transition that a lot of people may not notice. I'm gonna let this guy go in. we're going to go over a transition zone that I noticed, and that's where the fish was holding. So when I get over it, I'm going to drop the camera and let you guys take a look and see what's down there. Here we come, right here. Okay, hopefully you can see what's down there. There's these big chunks of cement, and it transitions from that. There's another big chunk over there. For some reason they just dropped everything out here, and it's back over here to the small chunk rock. So my suggestion is, when you find those subtle transition zones, maybe that's where all the crawdads are, maybe that's where small bait fish are hiding for whatever reason, that's a good place to concentrate a little bit on. Guys, my thoughts on fishing this area and why I'm spending a little more time in here when I'm junk fishing than I might spend in other areas. This area, which I'm in, is about maybe a quarter-mile area. I'm staying in here without getting a whole lot of bites because it has such varied geography. There's tules, there's islands, there's inlets, there's points, there's hydrilla, there's pennywort. So when you're fishing an area, that may be a quarter-mile long, there may be 2 50-foot sections of banks, or 1 point or 2 points, or one of these little areas in here that have a little deeper trough in it, or have an undercut bank, or it's on a wind break on the bank, or whatever it may be holding all the fish. If you can pattern those fish to specific spots in this area, when you go to your next area, you're going to be looking for those exact same spots. Oh boy, that one came out of nowhere. Woo! Oh, that was a fun one. Not a huge one, but a fun one. Very aggressive take. So, a nice fatty. There we go. Okay, another decent fish. Okay, that last one came on a robo worm, and it's I think that's a 6 or 7 inch green robo worm. A keeper, nice chunky fish, but again, it picked up the drop shot in that particular instance where it may not have picked up my T-rig worm. When I'm drop shot fishing, I like to tie a little loop on the end of my drop shot just below my sinker, and that little loop basically allows me to use it as a loop to go around the hook keeper to cinch up everything. It's nice and quick, and it keeps your drop shots from tangling up with everything else. There's one. All right. Not a huge one, but a nice keeper. You need those if you're fishing tournaments for sure. They may not win you a tournament, but oftentimes they can be the difference. All right, I think that's going to be a day. I'm getting a little hungry. I need to go home and grab a bite to eat. I hope you enjoyed the video. I thought I was going to be able to fit everything about worm fishing in one video, but I was unable to. So I'm actually going to have another worm video. We'll call this video worming number 1, and I'm going to do a video worming number 2 in a day or so when I get back out, and we're going to cover a few different techniques that I haven't covered today. But I hope you enjoyed today's video. Hope you learned a little bit, If you liked it, hit the like button and subscribe. You'll notice that I've been posting quite a few videos, and I'm going to keep them coming as long as I know that people are watching them. So give me a day or two. I'm going to go out, do some more filming. We're going to have Worm in the Delta #2, and we're going to have different techniques that we didn't cover today. I also am just now remembering that I was going to show you a video of a fish that I took a couple of days ago. So I'm going to sign off. I'm going to show you what I took a couple of days ago, and then we'll be back in a few days and I'll see you again. Thanks for watching.